Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. If you live in Florida, especially Tampa,
get out.
Yeah. This would be a good time to pack up some things and go.
Get out. The roads are backed up already. They're already saying that many people are on the highways running out of gas.
Yep, that happened in Houston. Yep. That's not a good situation.
No, it is not. And I'm sure that there are plenty of electric vehicles that are waiting to be charged.
Oh, yeah.
Along the highway.
Right. Yeah.
So
there's
that.
That's another consideration, too, for disaster with electric vehicles. How are you going to charge that thing to go anywhere?
I don't know.
Well, you're not. You're not going to charge it to go anywhere.
But it's dangerous right now in Florida, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's bearing. The Milton is bearing down. They keep saying that it's a 5, but the latest report that the Hurricane Center gave, and we have we should have the cone of uncertainty there. They're saying 155 is the maximum sustained winds, which that's only a 4. Okay, let's relax a little bit.
When does 5 start?
157.
Because, okay, yeah.
I mean, 200 mile an hour sustained winds.
Yeah.
That's going to do some serious damage. And there is a lot of infrastructure, a lot of people. If you're told to get out, get out. Mm-hmm. Man, it is. And they're still reeling from Helene.
I know.
They took a beating. The coast took a beating from Helene. This is the Hurricane Center, Hurricane Hunter view from the eye. And, the eye is, I think, I feel like it was like 3 miles wide, which is pretty small. And so that makes it stronger.
Oh, really?
The pressure is dropping, so it's getting stronger. Now, they claim it's going to, it'll lower before it makes landfall. But if it's 5, I mean, and well above 5 by the time it gets into shallower water there closer to Tampa Bay, I mean, it's still going to hit with a power 3 or 4.
Still be dangerous.
Very dangerous. Very dangerous.
So, really a good idea to go.
Yes.
To get out, to flee this thing. And we should have learned, I think, a lesson from Helene, which just happened. So, take it seriously.
Yes, please. Yes, please. I mean, they've been pretty good. Alerting people, and they have evacuation zones. And I don't know if I lived in Tampa Bay, anywhere, whether I was in one of their considered evacuation zones or not, I would leave.
Yes,
I would leave.
And a lot of people ask, "Well, where am I going to go?" Somewhere else.
Somewhere else.
Just somewhere else.
Somewhere else. And I wouldn't say I would go. I would
drive,
a
relative.
Yeah, I would drive north.
Yeah,
and then west, because you can't continue to drive north because now you're into Helene area.
Yeah,
really sad.
Tough
and
time.
That's why DeSantis was saying a couple days ago that he was telling all the cleanup crews to go 24/7 because they still were picking up all the debris left from Helene, and so that debris is just going to be projectiles for Milton. So go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else.
Yeah. And another really good reason to be prepared. This just shows us how unprepared we are when emergencies hit. Have cash on hand, have, money in the bank. If you can, just prepare for these things. It's hard.
It's tough.
It is hard.
It's tough.
Yes. I mean, with inflation, with all the things that are battering our families every single day, it's hard. But it's so important to have a strategy for when this happens.
Well, yeah. And you come back, and what you're coming back to is going to be, you can quote me on this, not good. Could
be devastating. So
yeah, very
But being there during the devastation, not a good idea.
No.
Don't do that.
No, so I mean, board up your house and do whatever you have to do to keep your belongings safe, but you need to go. You need to go.
And again, looters and people who take advantage of this situation should be shot on sight.
They'll be dealt with.
I really believe they should be shot
they'll
on
be
sight.
Dealt with. No question.
Because it is despicable and some of the lowest form of evil to be taking advantage of people during a catastrophe like this. Just hideous. So if you're listening and you're thinking about doing that, don't. Yeah, don't do that. Don't take advantage of the situation. So DeSantis is apparently not responding to Kamala Harris and her calls.
He's busy. The man's got things to do.
Yeah, well, he is busy. I mean, he's already had one hurricane to deal with. Now he's got a second.
He had to save us from the port strike.
Right.
I mean, the man is busy.
Yes.
He doesn't have time for the vice president. I don't know if Kamala knows this, but she's not president.
And even if she were, does he have to take her calls? Nah,
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I mean, you probably do.
Probably will. You probably should, but do you have to? I don't know. But Kamala was asked about how she feels about him ignoring her calls.
President, Governor DeSantis, NBC is reporting Governor DeSantis is ignoring your calls on hurricanes, resources, and help. How does that hurt the situation here?
You know, moments of crisis, if nothing else, should really be the moment that anyone who calls themselves a leader says they're going to put politics aside and put the people first. People are in desperate need of support right now, and playing political games with this moment in these crisis situations, these are the height of emergency situations, is just utterly irresponsible, and it is selfish, and it is about political gamesmanship instead of doing the job that you took an oath to do, which is to put the people first.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. She knows about putting people first, doesn't she?
She does. Yeah, she was busy, recording podcasts when the Helene victims were being ravaged.
Right. The Call Her Daddy podcast.
Whatever.
Super important one. A super important one.
Whatever.
She's so pathetic. But, maybe he's got a mailbox that's full. Maybe he can't take any more messages.
It's possible.
I don't know.
It's possible.
Every time I call my wife and she doesn't answer, it's like, you've reached a customer whose mailbox hasn't been set up yet. She's had the phone for like 30 years. And this mailbox still not set up. So maybe that's the problem with DeSantis, too. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't know how. Somebody should show him. He's got kids.
He's got plenty of do people, too.
Yeah, and he has do people.
Governor.
Right. So she also blamed Donald Trump for misinformation about hurricane relief.
Oh, my gosh.
The other point I'd make is that there's a lot of mis and disinformation being pushed out there by the former president about what is available, in particular to the survivors of Helene. And first of all, it's extraordinarily irresponsible. It's about him. It's not about you. And the reality is that FEMA has so many resources that are available to folks who desperately need them now, and resources that are about helping people get back on their feet and rebuild and have places to go. You are entitled to these resources. People are entitled to these resources, and it is critically important that people apply for the help that is there to support. That all of those resources were created for just these kinds of moments in an emergency situation, knowing that folks are entitled to have the relief that they so rightly need at this moment in time. So listen to your sheriffs around the places that have been impacted by Helene. Listen to your local sheriff who's going to tell you straight.
Can you turn up the engine at all so that she's completely drowned out?
There are no conditions attached to the relief that's available to you.
If we could just turn up the airplane engine a little bit louder so that we can't hear her at all.
That'd be nice. I mean, that'd be a shame.
Yeah, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? That'd be terrible not to hear her incredible thing, whatever it is she's explaining there. I was riveted by it.
She's a really good babbler.
Oh, man.
There's some great clips of her, and she just babbles. I mean, it's just terrible. It's just terrible.
I can't take it. What's the BTS Liz Cheney?
So this is how the 60 Minutes interview kicked off, where they visited her with Liz Cheney. So this is him asking both of them, did you guys ever thought 10 years ago you both be campaigning together?
Oh, I bet this is going to be fun. Oh, wow.
Let me guess. No one could have seen this coming.
Just watch the clip. I'm going to tell you.
All righty.
4 years ago, if someone had told you that you would be campaigning with Liz Cheney, what would you have said to them?
That'd be great.
Yeah, that's what you would say.
The worst.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, that's what you would have said. That'd be great.
great.
Sure. So bad. Oh, they're so bad. I seriously don't know how anyone at all can consider voting for her. And Timmy Walz, too. He was confronted again about being a knucklehead.
Walz has been criticized for embellishing or telling outright falsehoods about his military record and about his travels to Asia in the 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
In your debate with
and everything else
you
he's
said,
ever
I'm a knucklehead at times. And I think you were referring to the time that you said that you were in Hong Kong during the Tiananmen Square unrest when you were not.
Yeah.
Is that kind of misrepresentation, isn't that more than just being a knucklehead?
Yes. I think folks know who I am, and I think they know the difference between someone expressing emotion, telling a story, getting a date wrong, rather than a pathological liar like Donald Trump.
But I think it comes down to the question of whether
you're just as big a bigger liar.
Trusted to tell the truth.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I can. I think I can. I will own up to being a knucklehead at times, but the folks closest to me know that I keep my word.
My gosh.
The people closest to me know that I keep my word.
He is redefining what it means to be a bald-faced liar.
Yeah.
Every time he's asked about these lies, he tries to make the person who's asking him about them look isolated and demeaned. Like you're asking a stupid question because people know me. People know me. I talk like they do. I'm proud of blah, blah, blah. You can't be too proud of it because you refuse to own up to any of it.
Yeah.
Any of it. You have to make up. You have to embellish. You have to lie about every aspect of your life. People know me. I'm getting so sick and tired of hearing. How many times has he said that?
That's all he says.
People know me. No, they don't. First of all, who? Who are these people who know you? Are you talking about Minnesotans? Are you talking about the American people? Are you talking about all Democrats? What are you talking about? Who knows you? Who are these nebulous people who all know you and what you really mean when you lie? I can't take it. Oh, my gosh. You know, Kamala Harris is redefining what it means to be redefined, and he is redefining what it means to be a bald-faced, lying, communist douchebag.
Zach.
I can't with these people. Wow. Who is voting for him? Who is considering voting for him?
And the numbers look like they're, absolutely starting to get crushed by Trump.
I sure hope so.
I hope
I hope so. I know he's ahead in most of the battleground states again, right?
Yes.
At least 5. He's ahead in 5 states, according to polls, of these battleground states.
And quite a bit.
Yeah, he's doing a lot better than... And we all knew, we hoped that was going to happen.
Yes.
Because she got the bump when she first announced and stole the nomination. Then she got a little bit of a bump, too, a feel-good bump after the DNC convention. And now it should be evening out. And now people are starting to really pay attention and understand, I hope, who she is and who he is.
Convention. What a nightmare that was.
Wow. Scary. It's a scary time. We're less than a month away now from the election. So,
and they claim they're going to do everything for, all the people that were impacted from Helene and all the people soon to be impacted by Milton
to get them to vote.
Their vote.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And that's going to be critical.
It sure is. Very critical.
You remember back in 2012 when we had the superstorm? They called it a hurricane, but it wasn't.
Yes.
Sandy, Superstorm Sandy, that hit New York. And up until that time, Romney seemed like he had really good momentum. You remember that?
Yes.
He was actually ahead in some polls. He had good momentum. People thought, okay, I think he's going to pull this out. Then Superstorm Sandy hit, and everything changed.
Yeah.
And so
Chris Christie went traipsing down the
held hands
with Obama.
Yes. And
they're playing grab ass with each other.
All of a sudden,
agonizing.
He's winning big. And so, I don't know, maybe this will have the same effect.
I hope so.
On the people in charge right now. Let's hope so.
I hope so.
Let's not forget who is in charge and who's botching the recovery effort. Certainly not Donald Trump. It is Kamala Harris and Joe stinking Biden who are in charge of this stuff. Let's not forget that.
And they can't distance themselves from one another.
They're sure trying. He's not. She is.
That's right.
I love the fact
I do too.
that he tied her directly to him. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that. One of the best things he's ever done.
It's just a punch. It's just a quick little jab.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Trying to make it like, oh, this is a compliment. I'm going to give her credit for everything that we've accomplished here. Yeah. What do you mean? Trying to make her lose? No.
What?
No.
No way.
I'm trying to show she's responsible for the current condition in this country that everybody loves. Right? You know how much you love it. People know me.
We got a lot done.
We got a lot
done to help the American people.
We got a lot done. And they did.
And they did. Yes, they did.
All right. Let me share something really exciting with you. They say no one reads anymore, but we know that's not true, at least not for this audience. Our best and most important ideas are still captured in print, which is why we decided to launch a premium quarterly magazine, Frontier. It's really beautiful. This is the first edition of it. I think that's actually Glenn's truck that's up there at the ranch he's baling hay. I mean, this is what he does all the time. That's why that's why he's always up in Idaho.
You can't see him because he's back behind the truck baling.
Yeah. He's baling the hay. He's wrapping it up and then lifting that giant stack into the back of his truck. I'm driving to the town.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's got some cattle. He's got some hay. He's driving to the town. It's great. But there is a really beautiful photography in here, commentary, incredibly interesting articles that dive deep into a lot of great issues. You're going to love this. And it doesn't just end with the magazine either. You're going to have a lot of features when you subscribe and get your Blaze Plus membership. I mean, there's going to be people who comment like Matt Taibbi, Mark Levin, of course, stuff from Glenn. And your membership entitles you to exclusive access to Frontier, to delivered right to your door each quarter, along with a lot more. As a founding member of Blaze Unlimited, you'll receive a limited edition founding members card, the one I'm holding right here in my hand. And if you accidentally drop it, it sounds like that, which is really cool.
Kind of cool.
I love that feature. I really do. So join us as we try to defend free speech and uphold the American way of life. Join Blaze Unlimited today, and let's stand together to keep the spirit of America alive.
Pat Gray is Unleashed.
Yeah. Welcome. All right. 888-900-3393. Do we have more? We have more from the 60 Minutes interview, right?
Oh, yes. We got
a lot more.
14, 15. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
So she refused to answer. Well, she doesn't answer any question. Neither of them do.
I didn't know how to type all these because none of them were her
real
giving
answers
an answer at all.
It's the questions that are poignant, and then they just babble.
Right, and you're excited, like, hey, thank you for asking that.
Yeah.
But the same thing happens every single time.
And
they just wander off on whatever their agenda is.
On this 60 Minutes, she is very angry at this host.
Oh, is she?
Oh, she is. By the time you hit question 12, she is done with him.
Why do we have all of this already? Isn't it? I'm sure it's going to air on Sunday, right?
I don't know, but we even have overtime clips, which
weird.
60-minute overtime is a thing.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't know that was a thing either.
Copycats.
Do you have to subscribe to CBS to get the overtime?
I have no idea.
Probably. Yeah.
But we even have overtime clips, and I think those are the ones that she is just
pissed,
mad angry.
Well, good. I'm glad somebody's pissing her off. But she refused to answer if she'll support adding Ukraine to NATO, something we
As
promised
president,
we'd never
would
do.
you support the effort to expand NATO to include Ukraine?
Those are all issues that we will deal with if and when it arrives at that point. Right now, we are supporting Ukraine's ability to defend itself against Russia's unprovoked aggression. Donald Trump, if he were president, Putin would be sitting in Kyiv right now. He talks about, he can end it on day one. You know what that is?
She knows it.
It's about surrender.
No, it's not. No, it isn't.
She knows it.
I don't know how I'm going to make it through this election cycle. I don't know how.
I don't know how you're going to make it through these 60 minutes.
This day,
but go ahead.
yeah. This is hard enough. Then she was asked about, okay, so it's not bad enough that she's trying to redefine everything Trump did, because if you remember back between 2016 and 2020, there wasn't a problem with Russia. They did not invade Ukraine. Anybody remember that?
Correct.
There was not a war in the Middle East. There was not a war in Ukraine and Russia. So you can say this stuff all you want, but there's a lot of evidence and reality to the contrary. So why don't you just deal with the way you've screwed up this mess and the fact that you continue to make it worse, really, and drive us closer to a world war with Russia. Then we got onto the topic of what kind of gun she owns, because that's a big thing right now.
Well,
she owns a
that
gun.
was from the Oprah interview, right, where everybody was shocked that she said she owned a gun.
Yeah. So now,
if you come break into my house, you're going to get shot.
Am
not
I?
From you.
Okay. But here's what kind of gun she owns.
You recently surprised people when you said that you are a gun owner. And then if someone came into your house...
That was not the first time I've talked about it. That's not the first time I've talked about it.
So what kind of gun do you own, and when and why did you get it?
I have a Glock, and I've had it for quite some time. And
why'd you get it?
I mean,
why'd
look,
you buy
Bill,
it?
my background is
it for
in law
hunting?
enforcement. And
law enforcement.
So there you go.
Have you ever fired it?
Yes. Of course I have. At a shooting range? Yes, of course I have.
At a shooting range?
Of course she has. Of course. She's obviously proficient with her Glock.
I'm sure the fact checkers have gone out and looked. That's not the first time I've mentioned it. It is publicly.
Is it?
Kamala,
Do we know that for a fact?
No, but where? I mean, we've never heard her talk about it ever before. Ever?
No.
Of course I have. At a shooting range.
They should be checking gun ranges within a 500-mile radius to find out if she's ever showed herself there.
Law enforcement. You're the district attorney.
Right.
Okay. I know. Yes, that's law enforcement, I guess. Okay.
So she's obviously talking about self-protection there.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was just for hunting. I thought guns were only used for hunting.
How many deer out here are wearing Kevlar vests?
Yeah.
It's a really good question. Yeah.
That is a good. We don't know the answer.
We don't know the answer. You can guess at it, but you don't know for sure. You don't know. You don't know the exact answer to that
question. And who's
question.
out there fitting all these Kevlars to the deers?
Well,
I don't know, but
our friends at PETA are probably taking care of that.
Tedious job. Yeah, you think PETA?
Yeah, they're out there taking care of that.
Okay, good. Yeah, so because they don't want the deer to get hurt.
Correct.
And the Kevlar will go a long way. Yeah, but they need helmets too. You know, they need like bulletproof helmets.
They do.
So if they get shot in the head, it just bounces right off. Huh. So she was also asked if it was a mistake to allow millions of illegals into America.
Not to her.
I've been covering the border for years. And so I know this is not a problem that started with your administration.
Correct.
But there was an historic flood of undocumented immigrants coming across the border the first 3 years of your administration. As a matter of fact, arrivals quadrupled. from the last year of
Pause it
President
for a
Trump.
sec.
She's pissed right
Yes, she's pissed.
Oh, Pat.
Because the narrative is, no, we've done a great job.
That's
We're
right.
fixing what Trump created. Nope. It quadrupled under your watch, Puddin'.
And I would venture to
Why?
say it was even worse than that, but I'll let you go ahead
But-
and throw that in. Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate him
Absolutely.
bringing that up.
He's not letting that go. Remember that question, because he's not letting that go.
All right.
All right, good.
From the last year of President Trump. Was it a mistake to loosen the immigration policies
Yes, obviously.
as much as you did?
It's a long-standing problem. And solutions are at hand. And from day one, literally, we have been offering solutions.
What I was asking was it a mistake to
Loosen.
kind of allow that
Yeah.
flood to happen in the first place?
I think
Yes.
the policies that we have been proposing are about fixing a problem, not promoting a problem. Okay?
But the numbers did quadruple.
And the numbers today, because of what we have done, we have cut the flow of illegal immigration by half.
But should you
We
have
have
done
cut
that?
the
Should you
flow
have
of
done that?
fentanyl by half. But
Yes.
we need Congress
not
to be able
the question.
to act, to actually fix the problem.
Staggering. That is staggering. She just continues to say, I am not here.
The problem.
I'm not sitting in front of you doing this interview. I can't even hear your questions because I'm not here. I am not here right now.
But it's just like everything with them, right?
Just like
With
everything.
inflation
Yes.
is coming down.
It's-
after you made it go up.
Right. Exactly right.
Numbers are coming down at the border. After you let them all in.
Right. Yes. It's stunning, isn't it? So they're battling against themselves here.
Yeah.
She's fighting against herself.
To make you believe that it's Donald Trump's fault.
Right. Right. You can't make that case, but they're sure trying.
They sure are.
And they just keep doing it. They just keep going back over that same territory. That's a really good job. I mean, he tried to hold her feet to the fire there.
And what are you going to, that's about as good as you're
That's
going to
about
get
as
again,
yes. I mean,
for her.
what was that? 3? So 2 or 3 follow-ups?
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He didn't succumb to her BS that
wasn't angry.
The numbers are great right now. No, first of all, no, they're not. But why didn't you do this in the first place? Because it quadrupled, and now you're claiming credit for cutting it in half? So it's only doubled then since Trump? That's what you're saying. So the numbers quadrupled under you.
Cut it in half.
You cut it in half, so now it's just double the problem that was left by Trump. Congratulations. What a job you've done. That is fantastic. Way to go. What credit you deserve. That's amazing.
That's awesome.
It is absolutely amazing. When does this thing air? It didn't already air, did it? Is 60 Minutes on a different
Sunday?
night now?
No, it's on Sunday nights.
Was this last Sunday night?
This is social
new,
media
right?
was all over this last night. The Trump campaign cut this off all last night.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about it yesterday.
I'll find it. I thought I had heard that it was coming. The Kamala sat down with an interview with 60 Minutes, and it was coming.
I can't tell you the last time I watched an episode of 60 Minutes, so I have no idea who was on it or who's going to be on it. But usually we would have heard about all this yesterday, and I didn't hear about any of it.
I see a little bit of it on Sunday nights when I'm getting ready to watch Sunday Night Football, and I'm like, ooh, why am I on this channel?
Because it's on NBC.
And I move on.
Which doesn't carry 60 Minutes. That's
correct.
why,
that's why I have
never
to move,
encounter that.
I have to move it from CBS.
I see.
I've watched the CBS football game. Why am I watching 60 Minutes?
Right.
Got to go to Sunday Night Football.
Okay. Wow. So, is it this coming Sunday?
So, election interview.
I mean, why watch it now?
you've seen
We're
it
sharing pretty much all of it. There's more to get to. More of her lies. Really stunning. Just amazing. Wow. How do you win when you created this kind of mess and you haven't cleaned it up and you just keep saying, yeah, there's more to do, but we've done a great job? No, you haven't.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Yeah. So let's see. We just committed and pledged $157 million to Lebanon for emergency relief.
Correct.
And so far we've pledged $137 million to Helene relief. So
it's awesome.
So yeah, Lebanon first, and then Ukraine first, Palestinians second, Lebanon third, and Helene maybe fourth, somewhere in there, fifth, sixth. I don't know, somewhere.
A little
on
too
the
high,
list,
but okay.
Yeah. I'm giving them a lot of credit to even have them in the top 5.
Yes.
So
yes, you are.
We got some tweets here. Phil Sharp. It's sure hard not to believe in weather manipulation when 2 hurricanes in a row hit Republican-heavy areas.
Everyone, I've seen so many posts about weather manipulation and never seen a hurricane form in the Caribbean like that and then go directly east. And
that is weird.
It is weird because normally they go a little bit, northwest and then swerve back.
They also form in the Atlantic as a rule. Right.
Well, this time of year they form in the Caribbean there and off the Yucatan Peninsula and in the Gulf. Yeah, because there's just so we're clear, there's another disturbance just off the east coast of Florida right now that could turn into something else. I don't know if Milton is going to push it out of the way or not, but it's there.
Boy, Jimmy Dimples. I have to wonder what sort of answering machine message DeSantis would have to tell Kamala to wait for the beep. Know what I'm saying? Tweets. So FEMA is out of money and resources while simultaneously has an abundance of resources.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, they claim that They claim that they've got money that was left over that was appropriated for other things. And you know this administration. They are sticklers to the rules and sticklers. So there's no way that they can just higgly-piggly take money that's sitting there and help the American people.
No.
They need Congress.
You're right. Exactly. So. Yes. They don't want to do anything that's extra constitutional at all.
No.
I crochet, so don't cry. Tweets. The people that need the help are applying for help and being denied help. So.
But they're entitled to it.
There's that.
They're entitled to it.
Yeah, there's that. Patriots Beagle 2. Where is Lebanon, Florida? I can't find it on the map. Yeah. Keep looking, though. Keep looking. There. I'm pretty sure it's right there.
It's on the other side of Lake Okeechobee.
Yeah. Do you have the Florida hand map?
Yeah, do you have a hand map for that?
Or not?
You're not going to want
to see
on
that. Okay. Rock and roll G-Mom. Anyone who votes for Harris Walz after learning they're sending millions to Lebanon, giving our own people $750 for relief, is a traitor. Carl Smith. Okay, I toured the battlefield at Gettysburg and wasn't at the actual battle, so I got the date wrong. People know me. I'm a
knucklehead.
I misspoke. I'm a knucklehead, okay? I would have loved to have been at the meeting where they sat down and talked about his excuse for this, because he's been caught in lie after lie after lie. Everything he's ever said is a stinking communist lie. And so how do we combat this? Just tell them you speak like other people. Just tell them people know you.
People know you?
The American people don't know you, so just tell them the people that do know you don't. You just talk like they do. What a great answer.
And my wife, the teacher, she knows I don't speak right sometimes.
Yeah, you're a teacher. Maybe that's why his students can't go to Yale or any Ivy League, because he's so bad at teaching them that they can only go to, I don't know, trade colleges. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No.
It's fantastic. Mandy Gonzalez tweets, I don't know how Pat hasn't had an aneurysm from listening to Kamala and Tim. I'm thankful for the clips because listening to them for very long infuriates me. Yeah. Right there with you.
So the 60 Minutes interview, and we have some more clips, and we'll get back to them. But that was a special election 60 Minutes.
Right.
That they aired
it happened last night.
Yeah.
No wonder.
Yeah.
No wonder. Yeah. That's how closely I pay attention to 60 Minutes and everything they do. And we had no idea.
A special election 60 Minutes up against Monday Night Football. Okay.
Well, that's just stupid.
Okay. Go ahead.
What are you doing? That's ridiculous.
I mean, that's bad programming.
Very. Yes, very. All right, with a Fat Five, here's Jeffy.
All right, let's begin in Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota, the home of Coach Tim Tom. Tampon Tim, Democratic VP candidate. Lunds and Byerly's, which apparently is an upscale supermarket chain there in that neck of the woods, voluntarily recalled containers of its L&B Lone Star dip. Hundreds of containers of the Minnesota supermarket's company dipping sauce was recalled due to potential mold growth contamination. Just nasty. The recalled sauce was sold at Lunds and Byerly stores throughout the Twin Cities and surrounding areas, and it's usually, I guess, you use it for sandwiches and wraps and tortilla chips. So I guess store employees first noticed the possible contamination and said, hey, there's some mold growing in those dipping sauce. Maybe we ought to do something. So they did, and it's been recalled. And a little mold. Did a little mold ever hurt anyone?
Never hurt anybody. No,
I mean, no illnesses have been reported from the dipping sauce.
What's the problem then? Keep selling it.
Yeah, there you go. I would
add some flavor, probably.
If you're in that neck of the woods, just go in and tell them, yeah, I bought some. I need some store credit. They'll give it to you.
I wonder if that's like fry sauce in Utah and Idaho.
Maybe.
You ever had fry sauce?
Yeah, I was forced to have it when we were there, yeah.
It's essentially Thousand Island dressing.
Yeah, nasty.
And you just dip your fries in it. So... yeah, they love it in Utah.
Yeah, they can keep loving it. Nasty. Good times in Chicago. Good times in Chicago. Mayor Brandon Johnson named members of the new school board, batting away criticism of the move days after all 7 members resigned amid an escalating fight over control of the public schools of the nation's 3rd largest city. He's trying to oust the district CEO, Pedro Martinez, who was named to the job under Mayor Lightfoot. But Martinez is not leaving, and he says, no way. They have a district shortfall of $10 billion. Well, in their budget of $10 billion, they have a shortfall of money. So they're looking to get a loan. The mayor said, well, we'll just take a short-term high-interest loan of $300 million. And, the school board is like, they're quitting and everybody, they don't have any money. They don't know what to do. Now, when asked at a press conference, when he was announcing the new members, he was asked, hey, do you think this really is being fiscally responsible?
And then the so-called experts, the so-called fiscally responsible stewards are making the same argument when our people wanted to be liberated and emancipated in this country. The argument was you can't free black people because it would be too expensive. They said that it would be fiscally irresponsible for this country.
Yes, so it's slavery. It's slavery that's keeping him from getting his loan. And people need to understand that. He needs the money. During that same news conference at the Southside Church, he introduced those 6 members, as I said, and then it's a formality. He said, these are nominees, but they're still being vetted, and they're going to get the job. Don't worry about it. And then he's going to have a new hybrid model for the school board, I guess. That's what he's claiming. Then he was talking to reporters saying that there was protesters there that were saying, fire Brandon, not legit. I thought life was going to be better after Mayor Lori Lightfoot in Chicago. Apparently it hasn't been. But then he got a little angry. Not slavery angry, but he got angry when asked if he thought it was a good time. The Chicago Bears are going to go and play in London. The NFL team is going to play in London this weekend. And he's going. And he was asked from a reporter, you think it's a good time to go to London?
Is this a good week to go to London for a Bears game? And also, who's going to pay for that trip?
All right. And also, who's going to pay for it?
Okay. All right. I'm going to London to attract business to Chicago.
Oh, Okay.
I'm going to London to attract business in Chicago.
But are you going to the game?
Hold on a second.
Are you going to the
Because you
game?
already know the answer to that.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure that you do the people of Chicago service. Because I have to be very honest with you. It's pretty jacked up the way you frame that.
Right.
That is. It is. It's disrespectful and condescending that the black man is going to London for a game. It's disrespectful. It is. And people get away with that too much. They do. The governor went to Tokyo. The governor went to Tokyo to attract business. The mayor of Chicago is going to London to attract business.
Was there a Bears game in Tokyo?
I'm going to root for the Chicago Bears.
And he's going to go. Oh, by the way, I am going to be rooting for the Chicago Bears. Yeah, so he's definitely going to the game.
Just a wild coincidence that the trip happened to coincide with the Bears being there.
Well, they're there. I'm going to root for them.
Can I help it? Oh, of course I'm going to be there to support them.
Hello.
You know. And then I'm leaving right after the game.
He never did answer who's going to pay for it, but he didn't. The city will pay for it since he's there on city business.
It's disrespectful to even ask the question.
That's correct.
How dare you ask that of an elite leader like him? Incredible. How dare you?
Incredible. Good times in Chicago.
Good times.
Good times.
That's great.
Good times. The grass is always greener after Lori Lightfoot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Amazon Prime Big Deal Days. Going on now through tomorrow. The e-commerce giant's annual holiday sale began at 3:01 a.m. Eastern today. Perfect shopping time. Keep filling your cart, during your breaks today at work, and keep looking for those lightning deals. No word, though, if they're going to let the storm victims from Helene and soon-to-be victims of Milton have a couple of days in a month or so. To have a special day just for them, but maybe that's probably just wishful thinking. One of the things that you can buy without an Amazon Prime membership is from today's Chewing the Fat 5 segment sponsor, Kexi Cookies. Simply the best cookies on the planet. Great anytime, anywhere you have them.
Yeah.
Kexi.com.
And here's the Halloween box. Got this new logo going.
Yeah, look at that.
Whoops. Trick or treat.
Crammed with the assortment of creepiest creations.
Bon appetit.
See? Get
it? That's really... It's fun. This is a great...
So you got Worms and Grubs.
Yeah.
Spooky Sugar.
Right.
Peanut Butter Monster.
This blood thing that's actually
Blood
red
velvet.
Yeah. So delicious.
Pumpkin and Witch's Brew.
Oh, yeah. There's the Witch's Brew right there. So you got all these white chocolate chips on top, and then inside it's packed with the butterscotch.
Yes, please.
Chips. You want that?
Oh, yeah.
Try that.
Brew all the way.
Really good. So these are available for a limited time. These sell out every
limited
time.
Quantities.
These specialty boxes really sell out fast. So go to Kexi.com right now. KEKSI.com.
They've been out since the weekend, so some people may have gotten a head start.
Yeah, there were a few that got a head start.
It was a glitch. It was a computer glitch. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
You're going to leave it there.
Nothing you can do.
Nothing you can do. U.S. News and World Report released their 2025 best colleges list, ranking the top colleges and universities throughout the country in various categories for the 40th year running. And
is Bemidji State number one?
It's not on the list.
Oh.
Well,
really?
It may be on the list. It's not in the top 10.
Huh.
Yeah,
okay.
It's not in the top 10.
All right.
But they wanted to prioritize social mobility. The publication says that more than 50% of the college rankings this year is based on academic and professional success relative to debt and earnings after graduation.
Oh, so are they trying to eliminate Ivy League schools?
That didn't matter since the government's going to pay off the student loan.
Right.
That didn't matter. So number one.
So you're not going to have Ivy League schools on this list, right?
Yeah, well,
because the ratio is a little jacked up. Okay, I'm going to say Yale. Princeton's number one. All right.
Then MIT.
Okay.
Then Harvard.
Yeah.
Then Yale. Those are your top 5. And I was looking. Okay, so Princeton, $86,700 a year. Go to Princeton.
Okay.
MIT is $85,960. Not even $86,000.
What a bargain.
I forgot to mention Stanford is 4th. Yale is 5th. Right, so you've got Princeton,
Stanford
MIT,
sneaked in there.
Harvard, Stanford, Yale. Yeah, those are your top 5.
Okay.
So, and I like how Stanford. We're only $65,127 a year. Oh, really?
Bargain basement.
Well, that doesn't cost. That doesn't add in the housing, food, supplies. All of that brings the cost to $92,000.
Okay,
over $92,000, and you can get into Yale. Yale tries the same thing. Number 5, it's only $62,250, except that it's room and board fees are an additional $18,450. Students should allocate approximately another $1,000 for books and supplies. And I'm not a mathematician, but that puts us over $80,000 right there. So
if you have to eat and you need a roof over your head, if you're that picky while you're going to school, then it's going to cost a little extra.
And then, all the usual suspects are, on the list. Duke, Johns Hopkins, Northwestern, University of Pennsylvania, Cornell, Chicago, Brown, Columbia, Dartmouth, University of California, Berkeley, Rice, Notre Dame, Vanderbilt on the bottom of that list. SEC country. So please remember to subscribe to my daily show, Chewing the Fat, available wherever you get your podcast. Rate and review where possible, Chewing the Fat with Jeff Fisher. We all saw your girl, Taylor Swift, at the game last night, Monday Night Football. Chiefs won, still undefeated. She has nabbed a new title, World's Richest Female Musician. Now that her net worth is an estimated $1.6 billion.
$1.6 billion.
The 34-year-old cat lady singer was named top earner. Rihanna was number one there for a while, but Rihanna's only worth a pittance now, $1.4 billion. And she is now your girl Taylor jumped 10 spots on the list. She's now 24th from a 34th place as the richest woman on the planet.
Okay.
So
who is the richest woman?
Congratulations.
Is that Oprah?
I don't know. I don't have that list, but probably not. No. No, it's not Oprah. Oprah's not the richest woman. No way.
It's probably what's her face?
Waltons.
One of the Waltons, or Bill Gates' ex-wife.
Oh yeah, because Bill took a big hit, and Gates, he had
to give her $30 billion or something.
More than that, yeah. Melinda's probably still raking in the cash. Yeah, that's probably who it is. And I guess congratulations are in order to Toyota. They apparently have seen the light. They've said that they're shifting away from DEI and pro-LGBTQ events. Bloomberg reported that the company sent a memo to U.S. employees stating it's going to focus activities aligned with STEM education and workforce readiness, and will no longer participate in the Human Rights Campaign's Corporate Equity Index. Wonder why that would be.
Seems like many companies are coming to that conclusion, aren't they?
That's because they were found out. They were all supporting gender transition treatments and drag programs.
And people don't want to be associated with that.
They do not.
Welcome to reality. More coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Hey, and I got some tweets here. Giblets tweets, a special edition election of 60 Minutes, also known as an emergency propaganda message. Although I will say Bill Whitaker did a pretty good job.
With the clips we played, I thought he was awesome.
I thought he did a really good job.
Now, I don't know how much, does it get you anywhere to call her out any more than he did? We've talked about that before. I don't know that it does. It's fun for us to think about doing it, but I don't know for him it doesn't get him anywhere.
He pushed it like 3 times on the
immigration
thing. Nancy's vodka-soaked dentures. And to think that is the best they could do to make her look like a good candidate.
I know.
Gender McGenderface, don't be silly, Pat. You can't hunt with a Glock. The bullets won't penetrate the Kevlar vest on the deer. Yeah, that is a problem.
How many deer out here are wearing Kevlar vests?
All of them. All of them, I think. KJP's blinker fluid. Sure, you own a Glock. What kind? You can't just name one of the most recognizable brands. You need to specify the model.
That's not the first time she's talked about it, and she has a history in law enforcement.
So get off her. Dr. Free Range Prisoner, with California's mandatory gun registration and open source CNC laws, It shouldn't be very hard to find out if Harris
it should not.
does indeed own a handgun. Someone with more time than me should look into that. Not a commie tweets, can we name the next hurricane Ukraine, Libra, Lebanon, Gaza, Ukraine, Leba, Gaza? Yes, we can. I just deemed it so. Patrick Hill, can we start a GoFundMe for Jeffy so he can afford NFL Sunday ticket and not be shackled to only 1 to 2 football games on Sunday?
Oh, no.
I'm okay with that. I mean, my PayPal, Jeffy CTF, go ahead.
Yeah.
If you want to put some money in.
All right.
Opposed to that.
And it'll all go to a good cause, right? NFL Sunday ticket. Yeah.
I have NFL Game Day on, in the Hulu plan, so I can. That highlights all the games, which is I'm fine.
So you get the highlights of them.
Yeah, I'm fine with that with the NFL, and then whatever games are being aired on the national broadcast. Because I love NFL, and I truly do. But college is what I really love, and
Me too.
What I really love,
Me too.
So I have the ESPN Plus plan, and I watch all of those games, man. Saturday is a busy day.
It's a busy day of football watching.
For my apps, yes.
Yeah.
For ESPN Plus channels.
Sometimes football watching at my house starts at 11 a.m., doesn't end until 1 in the morning.
I even go before that because I do the Saturday Morning Live stupid show on X, and then it's game day.
Mm-hmm.
It's game day, so then it's
college game day.
Then it's just leave me alone.
Uh-huh.
Leave me alone.
Do you ever watch Big Noon
Yeah,
Kickoff?
sometimes. I switch over there sometimes, but game day is my favorite.
It's going to be from a town called Provo, Utah this weekend.
I'll try not to miss it.
Yeah, try not to miss it.
But your boy Lee was not there this weekend. He was under the weather when they were out in California. I thought, yeah, this weekend. So it's like, okay.
Is he okay?
I guess.
Hopefully he's going to be back, right?
That's what they said.
Had to get him back.
They said.
Wow. Yeah. Maybe they realized. Maybe they just finally realized, okay, you know what? We pushed this too far.
I mean,
okay, let's stop.
That's the case.
Let's stop.
That's the case. I mean, come on. You got Lee, you got Saban now, and you got McAfee now with Herb Street and what's his face from the University of Michigan. His name is so awesome. Won the Heisman, won a world. Super Bowl, kind of a stupid name. And you've got Reese, the other guy. I know. Anyway, they've got a great team.
Talking about.
They have a great team.
Yeah, they do.
And just let Lee be home.
Yes.
Just let Coach Corso be home.
Yes. Yeah. Just enjoy your twilight years. Hang out at home.
Yes.
So it's time. It's time for that. All right. So last night was a special edition of 60 Minutes, a special election edition. And Kamala was asked some questions and, of course, didn't answer any of them. So we got that going for us. But after asking if it was a mistake to allow millions of illegals, and, of course, no, they've made no mistakes. This administration has been perfect for 4 years now. Perfect. But she was asked about accusing Trump of being a racist. Cut 9.
You have accused Donald Trump of using racist tropes when it comes to Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, when it comes to birtherism, when it comes to Charlottesville. In fact, you have called him a racist and divisive. Yet Donald Trump has the support of millions and millions of Americans. How do you explain that?
I'm glad you are pointing these comments out that he has made that have resulted in a response by most reasonable people to say it's just wrong. It's just wrong.
Oh, man.
It's just wrong.
It's just
Pat.
wrong.
It's just wrong.
It's wrong what he's doing.
Pointing
it's just wrong.
That's not what he was talking about.
Yeah, that's not the question. Once again, not the question that you were asked.
Without a chance.
It's amazing how they just answer whatever question is in their head.
He's even got the look like, okay.
Okay. Yeah, obviously, you're not going to answer a single question. Wouldn't it be great to have her sit right there?
Yes.
And just ask her over and over. What is the answer to it?
But that's
Give
my
me
point.
the freaking answer to the question.
Then you get nowhere. That's the whole thing. That's what's so
that's
frustrating.
Fine. If it takes an hour to get one answer out of her, pin her down until she does. I
guess
she would never do it though.
Oh.
She would never do it. They're trying to. they're saying right now that Donald Trump hasn't done any interviews except in friendly territory. Are you kidding me? Have you met Kamala Harris?
Right.
Have you seen where her interviews have occurred? Come on.
And
come on.
And they tried. I saw one report trying to make the case that Donald Trump, hadn't talked to a variety of reporters or whatever and sit down interviews. And I'm like, the man stood in front of that gaggle of reporters every day. Every day.
Mm-hmm.
If wherever he's at, if there's a gaggle of reporters, he'll come over and talk to you.
Yeah, he does.
What
he does.
What are you talking about?
Plus, he was at the big get together of the National Association of Black Journalists. They weren't friendly to him necessarily.
No, not a chance.
And that just happened fairly recently. So
60 Minutes, he wouldn't do the 60 Minutes interview.
No, because he wants him to apologize.
Yeah, he was still mad at him.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him for that. But I would love to see either her or Tampon Tim Walz come on a show like this.
Yes.
Come on Glenn's show. Show up and answer some tough questions.
To this show.
Can you do it? No, they can't do it. They're not going to. They're not ever going to do it.
No way.
Just like Al Gore can't go to any place that's not absolutely friendly territory. Neither will these Democrats, because they can't defend their positions, and they can't they can't defend their terrible track record of the last 4 years. I remember when An Inconvenient Truth came out, and the only way you could get an interview with Al Gore was to actually have seen the movie.
Yeah.
So I had to go see the movie. And even after that, even after they said, okay, see the movie and then we'll set something up. Nope, he wouldn't come on.
Yeah, sorry.
He wouldn't come on. Yeah, he's got no time. Sorry. He's just so booked up.
Trying to squeeze you in.
Okay, yeah.
And we appreciate you seeing the movie.
Did you love it? No, I didn't. And so they're the same way. With Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, they're the same way. They won't show up in any place that's not absolutely super friendly to their propaganda BS. They can't. They can't do it. But at least she did show up on 60 Minutes. To her credit, 60 Minutes at least has the reputation of being journalists. I mean, I don't know if they've lost that reputation now, kind of, I guess. But actually, again, Bill Whitaker was pretty good last night. Yes, he was. I thought he did a fairly decent job because he did also ask her about her flip-flops.
Let me tell you what your critics and the columnists say.
Okay.
They say that the reason so many voters don't know you is that you have changed your position on so many things. You were against fracking, now you're for it.
Right.
You supported looser immigration policies, now you're tightening them up.
Right.
You were for Medicare for all. Now you're not. So many that people don't truly know what you believe
now you're not.
or what you stand for. And I know you've heard that.
In the last 4 years, I have been Vice President of the United States. And I have been traveling our country. And I have been listening to folks and seeking what is possible in terms of common ground. I believe in building consensus. We are a diverse people. Geographically, regionally, in terms of where we are in our backgrounds. And what the American people do want is that we have leaders who can build consensus.
No.
Where we can figure out compromise and understand it's not a bad thing.
I want you to
as long
answer
as you don't compromise your values to find common sense solutions. And that has been my approach.
But what we wanted to know was, we know that you've heard that you've changed your position on these three in particular forms that he talked about. And what do you say to that? I'm building consensus.
Yep, that's what she says to it.
To people.
So, in other words, I'm trying to be elected here, and I can't be elected with the positions I once held.
Yeah.
I can't. And everybody knows it. So that's why. Because I'm trying to build support for people to vote for me. That's what I'm doing. And that's what she is doing. But he pushed her a little bit and asked her, why don't people know you yet? Is that 11?
A quarter of registered voters still say They don't know you. They don't know what makes you tick. And why do you think that is? What's the disconnect?
It's an election, Bill. And I take it seriously that I have to earn everyone's vote. This is an election for President of the United States. No one should be able to take for granted that they can just declare themselves a candidate and automatically receive support. You have to earn it. And that's what I intend to do.
Jeez. The worst. And then she asked about how she didn't get any votes and was basically, because this was going to be, if you remember correctly, a democratic process. It was going to be a process that was democratic in nature, and we're going to allow the people to decide. And then all of a sudden, nope, she just handed the nomination. Never mind. Bye-bye. It's done. So she was asked about that.
Was democracy best served by President Biden stepping down and basically handing you a nomination? You didn't have to go through a primary process. You didn't have to fight off other contenders. That's not really the way our system was intended to work.
President Biden made a decision that I think history is going to show is rare among leaders, which was to put country before self. And I am proud to have earned the support of the vast majority of delegates.
Except you
and
didn't.
To have been
right. What are you talking about?
The Democratic
what do you
nominee.
mean you're proud of something that didn't happen?
I am proud to have received the endorsement of leaders around this country from every background and walk of life to fight in this election over the next month for our democracy.
We don't have a democracy.
I think this truncated process is why people think or say they don't really know who you are.
Look, I've been in this race for 70 days.
Look.
And what does that have to do with anything? So, oh man, that's amazing. That is really amazing. Wow.
She's good.
Isn't she, though?
She's good.
Yeah, that's the word I was groping for. Good. She's good. Yes. She was also asked if people are wrong to blame her for the high prices that they're paying right now. Cut 13.
Groceries are 25% higher, and people are blaming you and Joe Biden for that.
Right.
Are they wrong?
No.
We now have historic low unemployment in America among all groups of people. We now have an economy that is thriving by all macroeconomic measures. And to your point, prices are still too high. And I know that, and we need to deal with it, which is why part of my plan, you mentioned groceries. Part of my plan is what we must do to bring down the price of groceries.
Okay, what is that?
Price controls. Oh, that's what that is.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's going to institute price controls as if this were the Soviet Union circa 1968. So
damn corporate greed monsters.
Yes, thank you. Yes, we need to do something.
Yes.
And their CEOs make 268 times what the little people make in their company. Hate isn't even strong enough a word. Wow. Amazing. Will she get away with it? I guess we'll see on November 5th.
Please no.
But please no.
Please no.
All right. Imagine if you had the ability to just wave your hand and abortion would no longer be legal. Imagine all the lives you could save in that moment. Well, tragically, that's not the reality we live in right now. But the good news is you can save unborn lives by donating to Preborn. The Ministry of Preborn empowers young expectant mothers in crisis to choose life. They've rescued hundreds of thousands of babies' lives through ultrasounds. When a woman considering an abortion visits a preborn center, she gets to hear her baby's heartbeat and see that precious child through an ultrasound. And you know what a difference that can make in your life when you see the ultrasound?
Oh, my gosh.
You hang that up on your refrigerator. You put it in your photo compilations. All of that kind of stuff.
My wife is always showing me her stupid grandkids.
Is she?
Oh, here's another one. She's got a few now.
There's what, 15?
She's got
20?
a few now. Yeah, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. It's probably even more than that now because you've been away from home for what, a couple hours now. So it's probably 25 or 30 by now. Anyway, it's such a great thing, and you know what a miracle that is. So to donate, it costs $28 to show an expectant mother an ultrasound. $28. If you can do 5, that'd be $140. But whatever you could afford is greatly appreciated. To donate, dial pound 250. Say the keyword baby, pound 250, keyword baby, or go to preborn.com/Pat.
If you like what you hear, find more at youtube.com/Pat Gray.
Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter.
You know, before we get back to all the Kamala clips, I have a clip of Joe Biden and Jill Biden, and they recorded a message to the Helene victims. Mm-hmm. Now, it's like a minute and a half long.
Yeah.
He is just terrible. I don't know how many times they had to take it, how many cuts they made, how many finally they just said it's good enough. I mean, he's saying words wrong. He's slurring.
I don't believe you.
She can barely stand being there.
I don't believe you.
I mean, it's
you hate this man so much that you just manufacture problems out of thin air for him. I don't even believe you. This man is the president of the United States, Jeffy, who was forced out of running for a second term, and it's
just piling on.
Thanks to people like you, yes, piling on, and this the make-believe he can't speak very well thing that you're manufacturing. I don't believe it.
I mean, I got it's the message to Helene victims, but it's just
yeah.
Why even
cut
do
43?
It?
Let's
why even do it?
Let's prove
to the
Jeffy
people
wrong.
of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida,
and Tennessee, Virginia, and Alabama.
Your nation has your back. Last week, I spent time in 4 states to see firsthand how you're doing and to thank the first responders who run toward danger. I saw homes destroyed, businesses wiped out, bridges washed away, survivors in shock, and families grieving.
In shock.
We grieve with you. This is
so
more
much.
heartache than any one community can bear.
You know, in moments like this, there are no red or blue states.
No matter how you vote, we help each other when disaster strikes because we are one United States of America.
And that's why even before the storm hit, I surged federal support to help communities prepare and save lives. Thousands of personnel are now on the ground all across the Southeast to find missing persons, to clear debris, to deliver food and water, and to start the hard work of recovery. FEMA is knocking on doors to sign up survivors for direct, immediate financial aid, because many of them need it now. And I've directed my team to stay there 24/7 with you until this job is done.
Thank you to first responders and everyone who is supporting someone in need. Neighbors helping neighbors, acts of kindness, keeping communities together, people leaning on each other to pick up the pieces of shattered lives.
People around the country asking, can I come in and help? That's America's very best. There's nothing we can't do if we do it together.
Excuse me,
We're going to do it together. God bless you all.
See, that was brilliant. That was perfect. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay.
He was brilliant there.
Okay.
Didn't make a single mistake.
Okay. My favorite part of that is...
By the way, that was one take. That was not multiple takes.
No way.
That was one take.
No way that's one take. And I will say what? Okay, maybe that particular clip is one take. I bet you they did that at least
100 times.
Yes.
100 times.
And the one clip I saw had the words printed out of the, as he was speaking, and how he's saying them wrong of what's being printed out. It's just terrible. It's terrible.
So he slurred a few words.
It's just terrible.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Well,
who doesn't?
Stutter problem.
He's 89 years old or whatever. 106? What? How old is this guy?
106.
I mean, we've completely forgotten about him.
No doubt about that.
And you're just, every once in a while, they'll do a video or something like this where you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. Huh. You're still around.
That's why he trotted out to the press conference the other day.
Yeah.
Right? Just to remind, I'm still here.
And Jill, where has she been? Oh, she's pissed.
That right there. She hates him
man.
so much.
For her being so background now, she hates him even more than she did before.
No question. And I will say, I noticed that when he was out making his rounds this past week with the Helene stops, he was using the short stairs, so Jill definitely wasn't with him.
So great. So great, this pair that we've dealt with for the last 4 years. Isn't it? It's wonderful. Terrible. Just wonderful to have them around.
Terrible.
I can't stand them. None of them, though. And, Kamala is just as bad.
Oh, yeah.
If not worse.
And do we have time to play the second Doug talking about the chef-in-chief of Kamala? It's we got time to play that. Cut 28.
All right.
Cut 28. Let's play that. As long as we looked at Jill,
second gentleman,
look at Doug.
Dougie.
Over the 11 or 12 years we've been together, Sunday dinner has been a constant. Kamala loves family and extended family, blended family. Kamala has a huge repertoire of dishes. But I'd say that the one that there's never a doubt, and it's just roast chicken. She'll dress it, season it, cook it a little longer than you think, so you get that nice crisp on the skin, and it's nice and juicy and tender on the inside. And then I always do the carving, and I've gotten really good at that, and I take that very seriously because I want it to look good. She's put all that time into cooking it, so I want to make sure that it does it justice by looking good on the plate.
The greatest nation in the history of the world, and this is what we've been reduced to.
Yep.
My gosh.
Redefining masculinity.
The second gentleman telling us how much the first female, the second
VP,
first
whatever
female, how good she is in the kitchen. Is that where we are now?
I mean, I'm not opposed to having her in the kitchen.
But whatever.
But stay there.
Yeah. Oh, I don't need to hear about it.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Welcome. Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Hey, is your teen unsure of what to do with themselves after high school? Then this new 6-week life and career skills course from Praxis might be just what you need and what your teen needs. For the past decade, Praxis has helped nearly 1,000 homeschoolers and recent high school graduates launch their careers without college through their mentorship program. And now they're bringing their expertise to teens with their new course, Discover. Discover is a 6-week self-paced course, and it's designed to equip teens with essential life and career skills like building a professional network, making money by creating value, and developing a vision for the future. Plus, it includes a coaching call, a free resume review, and a copy of their book, Don't Do Stuff You Hate. And now for a limited time, they're offering listeners of our show 50% off the course. Use the promo code UNLEASHED at checkout to get $374.50 off. Visit discoverpraxis.com/blaze today to learn more. Discoverpraxis.com/blaze.
Now, more of Pat Gray Unleashed.
Chris was just talking about how heavy the cookie Worms and Grubs is
cow,
from
Pat
the
Gray.
Kexi cookie. Yeah, it's got its own mass. It's 17 times the mass of the sun.
I believe Witch's Brew is
thing's
as well.
really heavy.
It's the Witch's Brew one I have here.
Yes, they're both so big they have their own gravitational well.
And the problem with it is that gravitational pull goes straight to my mouth.
Yeah,
and
right.
I can't
exactly.
finish it.
Yes,
I mean,
that's right.
Don't want to, but I took 2 bites and
so powerful though they bend light around them. So that's
it was.
These are big cookies. Big.
Glad we're talking about cookies right now.
I know Fish is going to make fun of me, but I have to cut them in 4s.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I have to.
No, okay. Okay.
Okay.
I have to. I can't just eat that whole cookie.
We cut them in 4s, and then shut up.
So the Worms and Grubs is a chocolate cookie with creamy chocolate frosting, topped with a gummy worm and crushed Oreos.
Oh,
so good.
Looked really good. I did not take a bite of that.
Really delicious. All right. So anyway, we've been down that road. Here are some tweets, and thank you for them. Timmy Tampon, equestrian extraordinaire, tweets, I'm sorry. Is it now acceptable for a black man to mansplain to a Latina woman in public? Are we talking about the 60 Minutes interview with Kamala?
Kamala's Latina now?
She's not.
No, she's not.
She's Indian.
She's Indian.
And black.
But she's not Indian.
Right?
She's black.
And Asian.
She's African American.
Right. Yes, and only African American.
There's nothing has ever been said different.
Ever. And you're a racist if you say it has been said differently.
Yes.
Even if you heard it from her mouth.
Correct.
How dare you be a racist and listen to what she had to say then? Because that was then, and this is now. And you can only listen to what she says now. Pure Patriot. Have you noticed how Kamala suddenly uses the term folks? One of the favorite quips of one Barack Obama, who wanted to be a puppet master. Yeah, I hate that word.
Yeah, she's been using that a lot as of late.
From Sarah. So did she just admit she declared herself a candidate? Yeah, she did. She did. And they forced everybody else out of the race, too. Remember? It was.
Yep.
They were going to open it up. And I think it was going to be decided at the convention. And that lasted about, 15 minutes, 10 minutes. And then, no, she's the nominee. And everybody needs to get on board. I mean, that happened right away, the first day. The first day, at the very beginning, they were talking about this democratic process. And yeah, we're going to invite some other candidates to challenge her and whatever, because nobody thought she could even be a viable candidate. Not a single person alive thought she was an adequate Democrat nominee, and she's not. But then somehow they magically said, yes, she is. She's the best. Okay, how and why? When did that start? Hee-haw the Viking. Kamala didn't declare herself a candidate. She was declared a candidate.
Yes, she was anointed from on high.
Funny buddy from Mexico. When has the Democrat Party ever compromised its ideals in the modern era? And from Mindy, I'm so old, I remember when Kamala accused Joe of being a racist, too. Wish you'd asked her about that. Yeah, that would have been great. That would have been great. They keep asking J.D. Vance about things he used to say about Trump.
Yes.
Why can't you do the same thing with her?
Thank you.
But they can't and they won't. So I guess we have some interesting clips from KJP.
Oh, yeah. She was awesome.
Was this yesterday, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Some of them were yesterday. Now we do have the one clip where from Side by Side, where they've been taking heat over whether they were giving money to illegals,
yeah,
not
from FEMA.
We're not giving any money to the Helene victims, and then there's the Side by Side where she's denying that they didn't do that, they're not doing that, but she actually said it.
She did.
No, Biden did not take FEMA relief money to use on migrants. So FEMA regional administrators have been meeting with city officials on site to coordinate available federal support from FEMA and other federal agencies. Funding is also available through FEMA's emergency food and shelter program to eligible local governments and non-for-profit organizations upon request to support humanitarian relief for migrants.
Oopsie daisies. That doesn't seem to fit, does it? The narrative now. Oh my gosh.
So there's a clip here from yesterday with Peter Doocy, and it's a long clip, but it's well worth it because they're fighting over this very thing. They're fighting over funding for Lebanon, and no funding for saying that FEMA's out of money, And he kind of backs her into a corner, and she
gets pissed.
She gets real pissed.
Yeah,
and she, well, you'll see what she does at the end, but it's really kind of funny.
And on this issue of funding, the administration has money to send to Lebanon,
right?
Without Congress coming back.
Yes,
but Congress does have to come back to approve money to send to people in North Carolina. Do I have that right?
Here's what I'm going to be very clear about. The president and the vice president has had a robust whole of government response.
Grab their dad's suit
hundreds of
jacket
millions
today.
of dollars. I said it at the top, more than $200 million that we have directly put towards survivors here for disaster help. And that's because of this president's commitment to make sure that we are there for communities that are impacted. We take this very seriously again.
Of course
we
you do.
Take this very
of course
seriously.
you do.
And before the hurricane hit, we pre-positioned more than 1,500 federal folks on the ground to help.
Federal folks.
And so we have made sure that every state has gotten their storm requested emergency declaration. They requested it, and we made sure they received it. We've taken this very seriously. More than $200 million that we have provided to the impacted areas. But instead, people want to do disinformation, misinformation, which is dangerous. Because when folks on the ground hear that, they may not want to ask for the help that they need. That is there for them. That is there for them.
Jeez.
That's our focus here.
But President Biden is fond of saying, show me your budget and I will tell you what you value. If he's got money for people in Lebanon right now, without Congress having to come back, what does it say about his values? There's not enough money right now for people in North Carolina who need it. That's not misinformation.
Wait, no, that is.
No. It is not.
Your whole premise of the question is misinformation, sir.
No,
what you do?
it
Yes,
isn't.
yes, it's misinformation.
Is there money to send to Lebanon right now?
I just mentioned to you that we provided more than $200 million to folks who are impacted in the area, and I just shared with you that people are deciding not to.
Less than they
people are
provided
deciding not to.
President sent a letter to Congress that there's not enough money to help people in
We're
North
talking
Carolina.
about the SBA disaster loan.
That's money for people in North Carolina.
And that's important, and people in North Carolina need that. Wait, this is nothing new. Peter, this is nothing new. Congress comes together, they provide money, millions of dollars, for disaster relief. We're asking them to do the job that they have been doing for some time.
From a letter that President Biden sent to Johnson, McConnell, Schumer, and Jeffries. The president's letter is not misinformation. Would you agree?
No, the way you're asking me the question is misinformation. There is money that we are allocating to the impacted areas, and there's money there to help people who truly need it. There are survivors who need the funding, and it's there.
That you don't like misinformation.
I actually said we have the money available to help survivors of Hurricane Helene and also Hurricane Milton. Now there's going to be a shortfall, right? Because we don't know how bad Hurricane Milton is going to be. And so we're going to need additional funding.
That's exactly what I just asked about. And you said it was misinformation.
What you're asking me is why Congress needs to come back and do their job. That's what you're asking me. Congress needs to come back and do their job and provide extra assistance, extra funding to disaster relief fund. That's what Congress needs to do, and we're going to continue to urge that. You may not want that, but that's okay. That's what this president wants, and that's what the vice president wants. Thanks, everybody.
She is hideous. These are just awful people.
Just terrible. One of the things that I love the most, and we can beat her up here in a second, but because I love the internet so much, this was making the rounds yesterday after her press conference with her in her jacket, and it was awesome. I know it's not on the list, but I sent it in, and this is why one of the things that I love the internet, and I just want you to know it made me laugh all day.
It's kind of fun.
Okay, now back to beating her up. I'm sorry.
I mean, they just allocated $157 million for Lebanon. They have supposedly pledged $137 million. She kept saying $200 million. That's not the figure that I've seen. It's $137 million for hurricane relief so far. So $20 million more has gone to Lebanon than is going to the hurricane relief efforts right now. How is that misinformation? Those are just facts. That's not misinformation.
And that's what the president's letter says that.
Yes.
That's what Peter's saying. Is that? So that can't be mis or disinformation.
Jeez. Wow. It's crazy. It's
dangerous to ask those questions.
It's dangerous. That's incredible. Yeah, that's really something.
That's her new line now when she doesn't like something being asked.
That's dangerous to even ask. Oh, okay. Well,
people are going to hear you ask a question and then decide that they're not going to ask for the help they need.
Okay.
Okay.
I see. But it's fine for you to continue to call Donald Trump a threat to democracy, an existential threat to the country.
That's okay.
That's okay. That's not dangerous at all. We have to keep doing that. But it's dangerous for you to ask a question about hurricane relief in this forum. That's interesting. Wow. All right, let me tell you about First Liberty. The future of the Supreme Court is on the ballot. The radical left wants to eliminate the court's conservative majority by packing the Supreme Court with their own hand-picked justices to get the outcomes they want. President Biden has joined in. He's making reforming the court one of his final priorities before leaving office. But their end game is to pack the court. They want 15 justices. That's an additional 6 justices that would all be radical leftists to try to sway the court the other way. It's, First Liberty calls this what it really is. It's a Supreme coup. And we need to stop it. We absolutely need to sound the alarm. Before the 2024 election, here's 3 things that you can do. First, find out where your candidate stands on court packing. Share what you learn with others. And third, vote. If we lose the court, we lose the country. Join First Liberty to safeguard our judiciary and protect the future of our constitutional rights. Visit supremecoup.com/Pat. That's supremecoup.com/Pat.
Pat Gray Unleashed now continues.
It sure does.
With breaking news. The abandoned Harris group, you may remember them as the abandoned Biden group, that, they want to protest Harris over the conflict in Gaza. And they are now endorsing Jill Stein for president. The Green Party's Jill Stein.
Yeah. In other words, they've abandoned Kamala.
Yes, they have.
Right? Just like they abandoned Biden, now they've abandoned her as well.
Yes, they have.
That's great.
Because they don't like the way they've handled the Israeli-Hamas war. So,
yeah,
I know it's agonizing. It's agonizing.
Okay. Just when you think somebody's coming to their senses, you hear the reason. Nope, they haven't come to their senses. Nope, that's not the case. God darn it. Have you seen what's making the rounds on social media right now? It's these 2 skits from Saturday Night Live done by Nate Bargatze. Do you know who he is?
Yeah.
Really funny comedian.
Really funny.
Clean, funny.
Is this the Founders one?
Yes.
Yeah.
With Washington?
Yeah.
Where he's...
Very funny. It was funny.
Yeah, it's actually really good.
Yeah.
I like it. They did one a year ago, and then they just did one this last weekend, I think it was, where Nate Bargatze plays Washington.
Because we played their opening skit, I think, on Overtime yesterday. We listened to it, and
it was the cold open thing. It's not good. It was not good. This is a little bit better, but this is interesting because see if you can pick out something unusual.
I hear the British are sending another 5,000 troops.
How will we ever win this war? By remembering what we fight for.
General Washington.
Sit, please. You need your strength for the fight ahead. We fight for a country of our own, a new nation, where we choose our own laws.
Here, said sir.
Choose our own leaders.
Yes, sir.
And choose our own systems of weights and measures.
Weights and measures, sir?
Yes. Yes, I dream of that one day. Our proud nation will measure weights in pounds, and that 2,000 pounds shall be called a ton. And what will 1,000 pounds be called, sir? Nothing. Because we will have no word for that.
Seems like we should have a word for 1,000 pounds, sir.
And yet we won't. Because we are free men. And we will be free to measure liquids in liters and milliliters. But not all liquids, only soda, wine, and alcohol. Only those, sir. Yes. Because for milk and paint, we will use gallons, pints, and quarts, God willing.
How many liters are in a gallon, sir?
Listen to this.
Nobody knows.
Stolen directly from this show.
Absolutely.
Stolen
100%.
Directly from this show.
First time I heard that, I thought, okay.
Stolen directly from this show.
Yes.
And you're welcome, SNL. You're welcome. So,
I mean, if they're trying to be funny, they may as well.
They might as well steal from us because they don't seem to have the ability to do it on their own.
That's correct. If you need more help, you can reach out.
That's a good skit, though. A lot of people said it's the funniest skit in 25 years, and it's probably more like 50. I don't think SNL has been funny since probably the Bill Murray days.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
They've had some. There was for a while there. They had some really funny ideas and some really funny skits that they didn't know how to end.
That's always
it was
been
really
the problem.
funny in the first, that first minute and a half, 2 minutes, and then get out of it.
I know, right?
Get out of it.
Cut it down.
It was funny.
Make it shorter.
Stop it. Move on.
Yes.
Nope. We're gonna drag it out.
Yeah. Until it's not funny, and they have no ending, and it's just over. Okay. Right.
I stopped then.
Yeah.
I stopped then. I was okay.
Yeah, and it's too bad. I mean, because they did have some promise at the beginning.
Oh,
and
yes,
I don't know how
absolutely.
this show has lasted as long as it has. What is it, 50 years?
Right? That's 50th anniversary, right? This year, I think.
This year, I think. Yeah, yes. I think you're right. But you think about the people who've gone through there, like Bill Murray, Eddie Murphy. I mean, Will Ferrell. So many huge comedians. Dana Carvey. In fact, in that cold open thing, he was the only one that was funny in the entire skit because he was doing Biden. What was it he kept saying? It's like, and guess what? Look, it's funny. But they, this current cast is just too politically correct. They're just too concerned about being propaganda for the Democrat Party rather than being funny. And that just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
Just doesn't
it doesn't
work. But some of the rest of this was actually pretty good.
And, sir, in this new country, what plans are there for men of color such as I?
Distance will be measured in inches, feet, yard, and miles. So 12 inches to a foot?
12 feet to a yard.
If it were only so simple. 3 feet to a yard.
And how many yards to a mile?
Nobody knows.
Okay, well, how many feet to a mile?
5,280. Of course. It's a simple number that everyone will remember.
Let's confess, it feels a little complicated, sir. Why not use meters and kilometers?
We will, soldier. But only in certain unpopular sports like track and swimming. For popular sports like football, we will use yards.
Football, sir?
Yes. It's a sport where you throw a ball with your hands.
So in football, there is no kicking?
There's a little kicking. You kick the ball to get points.
How many points, sir?
Sometimes 1 and sometimes 3.
I'm very confused, sir.
Do not worry. For our new nation, we will have rulers with 2 sets of numbers Inches on one side, centimeters on the other.
So we can see where they line up.
Yes, except that they don't line up and they never will. Liberty, son, liberty.
And the slaves, sir, what of them?
You asked about the temperature.
I did not.
We should have two different unrelated scales of temperature. One of them will make sense to the entire world, and the other will be super random. Our great nation will use the random one.
What is the scale called, sir?
Fahrenheit.
Spell that for me.
Impossible. But one day, if we are brave, we will get rid of the U and a lot of British words like color and armor. But by God, we will keep the British U in the word glamour.
Only glamour, sir?
Only glamour. That is my dream for our countrymen. A melting pot of different measurements that will make Europeans throw little tantrums. In short, a land of liberty.
Where all men are free.
He walks off. That's so good. So funny. The interesting thing, however, is that at this time, in Washington's day, everybody measured by the standard measurement that we use now. It was only adopted much later by Europe. You aware of that? Everybody used to be on our system.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
I feel like that's mis or disinformation.
No.
This is
it's not.
Pat Gray Unleashed.